The ultrasound photo was still warm from the printer when she said, "Promise you'll love this baby no matter what." The words hung between us in the examination room, like a confession waiting to happen. Sarah's hand trembled as she held the grainy black and white image, her wedding ring catching the fluorescent light. I should have known then. Should have heard the plea hidden beneath her words. But all I saw was our miracle. 10 years of trying, 3 miscarriages, 2 failed IVF cycles, and finally, this. "Of course I'll love our baby," I said, taking the photo from her shaking fingers. The paper was still slightly curved from the printer, warm against my palm. "Why would you even ask that?" She looked away, studying the sterile medical posters on the wall. "Just promise me, David, please. If you've ever received life-changing news that made your heart race and your mind go blank simultaneously, leave a comment saying, 'I understand.' Because in that moment, I thought I was the happiest man alive. The drive home was quiet. Sarah kept touching her stomach, a new habit she'd developed over the past few weeks. I'd catch her doing it while making coffee, during conference calls, even in her sleep. Protective, maternal, guilty. Though I wouldn't understand that last one until later. "We should tell our parents this weekend," I suggested, turning onto our street. The spring roses I'd planted for our anniversary were blooming early, their pink heads nodding in the afternoon breeze. "Maybe we should wait," she said quickly, too quickly. "Until the second trimester. You know, to be safe. We're at 10 weeks already. The doctor said everything looks perfect. 12 weeks. Let's wait until 12 weeks. Why did her hand shake when she showed me the date? That night, I couldn't sleep. Pure adrenaline and joy, I thought. I pulled up my calendar app to count forward, planning when we'd need the nursery ready, when to schedule parental leave, when our lives would change forever. The conference in Chicago, that high-stakes merger negotiation that had kept me away for 5 days, was exactly 12 weeks ago. No, I counted again, 12 weeks and 3 days. The baby was 10 weeks along. The math was simple. Conception would have been while I was gone. My phone screen glowed in the darkness, 2:47 a.m. Sarah slept beside me, one hand still resting on her stomach, protecting something that couldn't possibly be mine. Could it? Maybe the dating was off. Ultrasounds aren't always precise. These things happen. I opened her laptop just to check her calendar, just to ease my mind. Her email was open. She'd been looking at baby names websites, their tabs still loaded. Emma, Oliver, Brandon. The conference was 12 weeks ago, not 10. The next morning, Sarah made breakfast like nothing had changed. Scrambled eggs, wheat toast, fresh orange juice. The same Saturday morning routine we'd had for 8 years. But her phone sat face down beside her plate, and when it buzzed, she flipped it over so quickly that juice sloshed onto the table. "Everything okay?" I asked. "Just Mom, she's excited about, you know." She gestured vaguely at her midsection. "I told her not to tell anyone yet." "You told your mother?" I couldn't help it. She knew we were trying. Her mother, who lived in Seattle, who she hadn't called in 3 weeks according to the phone records I'd check later. Another lie to add to the growing list. That afternoon, while Sarah napped, pregnancy exhaustion, she claimed, I did something I'd never done in 8 years of marriage. I went through our credit card statements, line by line, transaction by transaction. Giovanni's Italian restaurant. He has $127.03. The night I was in Chicago. 2 bottles of wine on the receipt when I called the restaurant pretending to dispute the charge. Table for 2, they confirmed. The reservation under her name, Fairmont Hotel Downtown. 389 Warsaws, not a client dinner, not a work event. A Tuesday night when she texted me about working late on the quarterly reports. The same Tuesday, Brandon Hayes, her boss, had supposedly been at a leadership summit, according to the company newsletter. Brandon's name appeared 47 times that week. In her deleted texts, which I recovered using software, I'm not proud of downloading, 47 times in 5 days. Hearts, winking faces. Can't wait to see you tonight. Last night was incredible. My husband doesn't suspect anything. The timestamp on that last one was 2 hours after she'd texted me. Working late again? This merger is killing me. Love you. The bathroom floor was cold against my back. I sat there until sunrise, my phone in one hand, the ultrasound photo in the other. Our miracle baby. Our fresh start. Our lie. Sarah found me there at 6 a.m. David, are you okay? Is it the baby? Are you overwhelmed? Overwhelmed. What a perfect word for discovering your life is fiction. Tell me about the baby, I said, my voice steady in a way that surprised me. What do you mean? Tell me about the night our baby was conceived. Tell me about that magical moment when we finally succeeded. I held up the ultrasound. 10 weeks ago. Her face went through a spectrum of emotions, confusion, calculation, fear, settlement on a version of truth she thought I'd swallow. David, these dates aren't exact. I was in Chicago. No, that was 12 weeks ago. I have the plane tickets, the hotel receipt, the merger documents dated and time-stamped. I stood up slowly, my legs stiff from the cold floor. I have the credit card receipt from Giovanni's, table for two bottles of Pinot Noir, the kind Brandon always orders according to his Instagram. The silence stretched between us like a tightrope. How long? I asked. David, how long? She sat on the edge of the bathtub, her silk nightgown pooling around her. The same one I'd bought her for Valentine's Day. 6 months, 6 months of lies, of working late, of team-building conferences and client dinners and quarterly reports that required weekend sessions. Is it his? The pause told me everything. The pause was a DNA test, a confession, a divorce decree all rolled into one. I don't know, she whispered, but we both knew. The timeline didn't lie. The calendar didn't lie. The 47 text messages didn't lie. Mike answered on the second ring, despite it being 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday. Dave, everything okay? No. The word came out cracked. Sarah's pregnant. Wait, why do you sound like someone died? It's not mine. The silence on Mike's end was different from Sarah's. This was the silence of quick calculation, of a best friend since college processing the impossible. Where are you right now? He asked. Bathroom, she's in the bedroom crying. Pack a bag, come to my place. I can't just... Dave, his voice was firm. Get a lawyer first, before you do anything, before you confront her properly, before you make any decisions. Get a lawyer, document everything, then decide. Mike said something that changed everything. Get a lawyer first. I packed while Sarah watched from the doorway. Not much, some clothes, my laptop, the folder of documents I'd started assembling without realizing I was building a case. Where are you going? She asked. I need to think. David, please. We can work through this. Couples therapy, we can... Is it his? She wrapped her arms around her middle, protecting Brandon's child from questions it couldn't hear. The baby is innocent in all this. So was I. The drive to Mike's apartment took 20 minutes. 20 minutes of her calling, 20 minutes of texts pinging, 20 minutes of my life reorganizing itself into before and after. Please come home. We need to talk. Think about the baby. I love you. That last one made me pull over. I sat on the shoulder of Route 9, watching early morning joggers pass by, living their uncomplicated Saturday mornings. I typed back 2 words. Love who? She stopped texting after that. Mike had coffee ready and his laptop open to 3 different divorce lawyer websites. I did some research. Sarah Chen comes highly recommended. specializes in complex asset division and custody issues. Custody? It's not my child. What about the house, the investments, your retirement, and Dave? He hesitated. In this state, if you're married when the child is born, you're presumed to be the father, legal father, financial responsibility and all. The coffee mug slipped from my hand, shattering on his kitchen floor. Brown liquid spread across the white tiles like the truth spreading through my life. Messy, staining, impossible to fully clean up. Why did her hand shake when she showed me the date? Because she knew. She'd known from the beginning that this ultrasound wasn't a miracle. It was evidence. Mike's guest room became my command center. Legal pads covered in timelines. Printed bank statements highlighted in yellow. Screenshot after screenshot of recovered messages. The evidence grew like a tumor, malignant and undeniable. Sarah called 17 times that first day. Her voicemails progressed from apologetic to angry to desperate. You can't just leave. We're having a baby. We're a family. We, as if Brandon wasn't part of her equation. Sunday arrived with an obligation I'd forgotten. Dinner at her parents' house. The monthly tradition we'd maintained since our engagement. Sarah's text came at noon. Please come. I haven't told them anything. For their sake. For their sake. Not mine, not ours, theirs. Go, Mike advised, looking up from his laptop where he'd been researching prenuptial agreement loopholes. Act normal, gather information, record everything if your state allows it. I can't sit across from her parents and pretend. You can. You have to. The lawyer Sarah Chen can see you Tuesday. Until then, you need to play this smart. The house smelled like pot roast when I arrived. Sarah's mother, Linda, hugged me at the door, beaming. Sarah told us you two have news! Behind her, Sarah stood in the doorway to the dining room, wearing the blue dress I'd bought her for her birthday. Her hand rested on her stomach, that new protective gesture that now felt like a claim of territory. Mom, I said we'd tell you together, Sarah protested softly. Oh, please, a mother knows. You're glowing, sweetheart. Glowing. Is that what betrayal looked like? Radiance? Her father, Robert, handed me a beer. My favorite IPA he always kept stocked. About time you two gave us grandchildren. Was starting to think I'd have to teach my golf swing to the neighbors' kids. The dining room table was set with the good china. Linda had made all of Sarah's favorites. The pot roast, green beans with almonds, the mashed potatoes with too much butter that she claimed were healthy because they were homemade. So, Robert raised his wine glass once we were seated. To the next generation of our family. Dad, please, Sarah started. No, let me finish. Your mother and I have been waiting for this moment for 10 years. Watching you two struggle, the treatments, the heartbreak, but you persevered, together. He looked at me directly. That's what real love does. It perseveres. It creates life. It continues the bloodline. Her father's toast included the words, continuing our bloodline. The irony was so thick I could taste it over the pot roast. Their bloodline would continue all right, just not with mine. David, you're quiet, Linda observed. Are you feeling okay? Just overwhelmed, I managed, echoing Sarah's word from the morning. It's a lot to process. When Sarah's pregnant with your child, you must be over the moon, Robert said, refilling his wine. I remember when Linda told me about Sarah, happiest day of my life, when Sarah's pregnant with your child. The conditional statement hung in the air like an accusation. Sarah's phone buzzed on the table. She grabbed it quickly, but not before I saw the notification preview. Brandon. How did it go? Everything okay, sweetheart? Linda asked. Just work. The Singapore merger is moving forward. She typed quickly, then placed the phone face down. The Singapore merger I'd closed 2 weeks ago. Another lie, served alongside the green beans. Brandon must be thrilled, Robert said casually. That's his baby, isn't it? The merger, I mean. He's been working on it for months. Sarah went rigid. I took a long sip of beer. Yes, I said slowly. Brandon's very invested in his baby. Been putting in long hours, nights, weekends. Such dedication, Linda chirped, oblivious. Sarah, you're lucky to have a boss who includes you in such important projects. Very inclusive, I agreed. Brandon makes sure Sarah's involved in everything. Sarah's knuckles were white around her fork. Speaking of Brandon, Robert said, didn't we see him at Giovanni's last month? He was with some blonde woman, quite pretty. That's his wife, Jennifer, Sarah said quickly. They were celebrating their anniversary. Another lie. Brandon and Jennifer's anniversary was in September. I knew because Sarah had helped him pick out jewelry, a fact she'd mentioned repeatedly during the selection process, showing me photos of necklaces and asking my opinion. If you've ever had to fake happiness while your world burns, you understand. The smile hurt my face. The small talk scraped my throat. The pot roast turned to ash in my mouth. After dinner, while Sarah helped her mother with dishes, Robert pulled me aside to his study. The walls were covered with family photos. Sarah's graduation, our wedding, vacation snapshots from happier times when the smiles were real. David, he said, closing the door. Is everything all right? Really? For a moment I wanted to tell him, this good man who'd walked Sarah down the aisle and placed her hand in mine with tears in his eyes, who'd welcomed me as the son he never had, who'd trusted me with his daughter's happiness. It's just a lot, I said finally. He nodded, pouring 2 scotches from his private collection. Can I share something? When Linda was pregnant with Sarah, I was terrified, not of being a father, but of being a bad one, of not protecting them enough, of failing them. He handed me a glass. But you know what I learned? The fear means you care. The fear means you'll do whatever it takes to protect your family. Protect your family. The words would echo later when I made my decision. To family, he toasted. To family, I repeated, the scotch burning like truth down my throat. Monday morning arrived with a new kind of torture, the fake doctor's appointment. Sarah had scheduled her 12-week checkup, circling it on our shared calendar with a heart emoji. First trimester screening, she'd written. Daddy should be there. Daddy. The word made me nauseous. But Mike's research had revealed something interesting. Prenatal paternity tests could be done as early as 9 weeks, non-invasive. A simple blood draw from the mother. And thanks to my IT background, changing the appointment location in her phone's calendar was simple enough while she showered. Honey, we need to leave in 20 minutes, I called through the bathroom door. I thought it was at 11. They called about a scheduling conflict, moved us to 9:30 at their satellite office. She emerged wrapped in a towel, her hair dripping. The Riverside location? Yeah. Same doctor, just different office. She had no idea I'd switched the appointment locations. The scheme required precise timing. Dr. Martinez's actual office was 20 minutes away. The DNA testing clinic was 18 minutes in the opposite direction. I'd have exactly 1 hour while she was in her real appointment to get to the clinic, provide my sample, and return to pick her up. You seem nervous, she said in the car, reaching for my hand. I let her take it. Her palm was sweaty. Big day, I said. David, about everything. Can we talk after the appointment? Really talk? Sure. I love you. You know that, right? Despite everything, I love you. Despite everything. As if betrayal was a footnote, a minor inconvenience to love. I dropped her at the main entrance. I'll park and meet you inside. The moment she disappeared through the automatic doors, I drove to the DNA clinic. My hands shook as I filled out the paperwork. Is the mother aware of this test? The technician asked. She will be. We'll need her blood sample within 48 hours for comparison. You'll have it. The collection took 5 minutes. 5 minutes to start the countdown to truth. 5 minutes that would become evidence in court. 5 minutes that changed everything from suspicion to action. I made it back to Dr. Martinez's office with 3 minutes to spare. Sarah was in the waiting room, filling out forms. "Where were you?" she asked. "Parking was a nightmare. Had to go 3 blocks over." Another lie. But mine was in service of truth. The actual appointment was routine. Heartbeat strong, development on track. The doctor beamed as she pointed to the screen. "Would you like to know the gender?" "Yes," Sarah said quickly. "It's a boy." A boy, Brandon's son, the heir to someone else's throne. That evening, Sarah cooked dinner. Salmon with asparagus, my favorite. She'd lit candles, opened wine for herself, beer for me. The domestic scene was so perfect. It felt like a movie set. "A boy," she said, smiling. "We could name him after your father." My father's name was William. "William Hayes." She stopped, her face draining of color. "Hayes? That's an interesting middle name choice." I misspoke. "No, you didn't." I set down my fork. "You said Hayes, Brandon's last name." The candle flickered between us, casting shadows that danced like the truth, finally stepping into light. "David!" My phone rang. Jennifer Hayes calling. "I should take this," I said. "Please don't." "Hello, Jennifer." Sarah's face crumbled as Jennifer's voice filled the speakerphone I'd deliberately activated. "David, this is Jennifer Hayes, Brandon's wife. I think we need to talk." "I'm listening. I found your number in Brandon's phone, along with your wife's, along with evidence. 6 months of evidence." Jennifer had been collecting evidence for 6 months. Sarah stood up so fast her wine glass tipped, red liquid spreading across the white tablecloth like blood. "I have photos," Jennifer continued. "Hotel receipts, text messages. I have everything. I was going to confront him tonight, but I thought you deserved to know first." "Thank you," I said, watching Sarah try to mop up wine with her napkin, her hands shaking. "I know. You know, about the affair. Yes, about the pregnancy. Also, yes." Jennifer's sharp intake of breath was audible. "She's pregnant? 10 weeks. That fucking bastard. He told me he wanted to wait to have kids, said he wasn't ready to be a father." Sarah was crying now, silent tears streaming down her face. The candlelight caught them, turning them gold. "Jennifer, would you be willing to share that evidence for legal purposes?" "Legal? You're divorcing her?" "Yes." "Good. Burn it all down. I'll email you everything tonight. And David, check your health insurance statements. They've been using your coverage for their hotel medical visits." The call ended. Sarah and I stared at each other across the ruined dinner. "A boy," I said finally. "Brandon must be so proud." Tuesday morning, law offices of Chen, Martinez, and Associates. Sarah Chen, no relation to my wife, though the irony wasn't lost on me, sat across from me with a kind of composed intensity that probably served her well in court. Adultery is grounds for divorce in this state, but it doesn't automatically impact asset division, she explained. However, the pregnancy complicates things. If you're married when the child is born, I become the legal father. Exactly. Financial responsibility for 18 years minimum, possibly college expenses beyond that. Even though it's not mine, biology doesn't matter to the state. Marriage does, unless... She pulled out a different folder. "You mentioned a prenuptial agreement?" "Standard stuff. We both had assets going in. May I see it?" I handed over the document we'd signed a week before our wedding. Sarah Chen read it carefully, her expression shifting on page 3. "Mr. Thompson, did you read this thoroughly before signing?" My lawyer at the time said it was standard. "It is, including this clause about adultery." The prenup had a clause she'd forgotten about. In the event of proven adultery, the unfaithful party forfeits claim to shared assets accumulated during the marriage, excepting those directly contributed to by said party. What does that mean? It means your wife just gave up her claim to almost everything. The house is in your name. your retirement accounts, the investment portfolio. If we can prove adultery, which Jennifer Hayes' evidence certainly does, Sarah walks away with only what she brought to the marriage and her own earnings. She makes $40,000 a year. And Brandon Hayes? $250 plus bonuses. Sarah Chen smiled. Then I suggest we also file alienation of affection charges against Mr. Hayes. It's one of the few states that still recognizes it. He pursued a married woman, destroyed a marriage, got her pregnant. That's textbook damages. How much? Depends on the judge, but with his salary and the pregnancy, 6 figures minimum. The meeting lasted 2 hours, forms signed, retainer paid, strategy planned. The divorce papers would be ready Thursday. The DNA tests results by Friday. The confrontation Sarah wanted so badly would happen on my timeline, not hers. Wednesday was moving day prep. While Sarah was at work, still maintaining the fiction that life was normal, I photographed every room in our house, every piece of furniture, every item that mattered, building an inventory for the lawyers. In our bedroom, I found the pregnancy journal she'd started. The first entry was dated 2 weeks ago. Dear baby, your daddy doesn't know about you yet. I'm scared to tell him the truth, but I know he'll love you. He's that kind of man. The kind who stays, the kind who forgives, the kind who raises another man's child because real men protect their families. Real men, there it was again. The manipulation disguised as compliment. I photographed that too. Thursday evening, the divorce papers were in my laptop bag. The DNA test had been expedited. Results due tomorrow. Jennifer's evidence had been cataloged and notarized. Everything was ready. Sarah had made pot roast, her mother's recipe. Smells good, I said. I thought we should talk, really talk, about the future. Let's do that. She'd prepared a speech. I could tell by the way she held her hands, the practiced pauses, the careful word choices. David, I made a mistake, a terrible, horrible mistake. But this baby, our baby, doesn't have to be a mistake. We can raise him together. Be the family we always dreamed of. Our baby? Yes, yours and mine. Biology doesn't make a father. Love does. And Brandon? He doesn't want it. He made that clear. Jennifer found out and threatened to take everything in the divorce. He's already talking about transferring to Singapore. So I'm the backup plan. No, you're the father, the real father, the one who'll be there for birthday parties and baseball games and college tours. Brandon was just biology. Just biology, as if DNA was a minor detail. Sarah, what makes a real man? She looked confused. What? You wrote in your journal that real men raise any child their wife bears. Is that what you believe? Her face went white. You read my journal? Answer the question. Yes. Real men protect their families. Real men don't abandon children. Real men raise another man's child. Real men accept betrayal. Real men ignore 6 months of lies. She actually said, real men raise any child their wife bears. The silence that followed was complete. No pretense, no lies, just the truth sitting between us, like Brandon had been sitting between us for months. I want a divorce, I said. You can't. The baby is not mine. The DNA test will confirm that tomorrow. You did a DNA test? How? The blood sample you gave Monday. I had the lab split it. That's illegal. No, it's not. I'm your husband, for now. I have medical power of attorney. You signed it during your first IVF cycle. She stood up, pot roast forgotten. You manipulated me? I manipulated you? The laugh that came out of me was bitter. You've been sleeping with your boss for 6 months. You got pregnant with his child. You tried to pass it off as mine. But I manipulated you? This is different. You're right, it is. My deception was to uncover truth. Yours was to bury it. I'm keeping the baby. I never asked you not to. You have to support us. The law says, my lawyer says otherwise, especially with the prenup. What prenup clause could possibly... The adultery clause. The one you insisted on including because you were so sure I'd be the one to cheat. Ironic, isn't it? She sank back into her chair. I forgot about that. Brandon, will he pay child support? He won't. He'll deny everything. Jennifer has photos of you two in bed. The color drained from her face completely. She... What? From the security camera in their bedroom. You didn't know about that, did you? All those times you two used his house when Jennifer was traveling. She was watching, recording, building a case. Oh, God. Also, alienation of affection is still recognized in this state. Brandon's about to get very expensive for his company. You can't do this. It's already done. She stood again, anger replacing shock. What about for better or worse? What about those vows? You broke them first. Marriage is about forgiveness. No, marriage is about trust, respect, fidelity. You know, all those other vows you forgot. I love you. You love security. You love that I was willing to do IVF. You love that I'd raise another man's child. But me, you don't even respect me enough to tell me the truth. She was crying now, ugly sobs that shook her whole body. Please, please don't do this. The baby needs a father. Then Brandon should step up. He won't. Then maybe you should have thought about that before you let him. I stopped. There was no point in cruelty. The papers will be filed tomorrow. You should get a lawyer. David, please, I'm begging you. Don't leave me. Don't leave us. There is no us. There's you, me, and Brandon's baby. That's not a family. That's a lie I refuse to live. I stood to leave. Where are you going? She asked. Mike's. The movers come Saturday. Movers? For my things. You can keep the house until it sells. The prenup is clear. House sale proceeds go to the titled owner. That's me. You can't just destroy our life. I didn't. You did. Every time you chose Brandon. Every time you lied about working late. Every time you came home smelling like his cologne and claimed it was from the office air freshener. You knew? Tom Ford Noir. Very distinctive. Very expensive. Very Brandon. She followed me to the door. What am I supposed to tell people? The truth for once. David, goodbye, Sarah. The door closed on 8 years of marriage, on the family we'd planned, on the lies she'd expected me to swallow, but not on my dignity. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. Friday morning. The DNA results arrived by courier at 9 a.m. sharp. I signed for the envelope with hands that didn't shake anymore, the official letterhead, the clinical language, the mathematical certainty, probability of paternity, 0.0%. Such a small number, such a massive truth, 0.00%. Not even a margin of error to cling to, not even a statistical anomaly to hope for. Just zero, nothing. The absence of connection rendered in decimal points. I photographed it, scanned it, made 3 copies, one for my lawyer, one for the court, one for Sarah, delivered with the divorce papers that afternoon. Mike was at work, so I sat alone in his apartment, staring at the results. Somewhere across town, Sarah was probably touching her stomach, protecting Brandon's son. Somewhere, Brandon was probably in a meeting, oblivious to the storm about to hit. Somewhere, Jennifer was probably serving him with divorce papers of her own. The phone rang. Sarah Chen, my lawyer. David, I have news. Can you come to the office? Good or bad? Interesting. How soon can you get here? 20 minutes later, I sat in her conference room as she spread documents across the table. Brandon Hayes has been busy, she said. His lawyer reached out. He wants to sign away all parental rights. Already? Jennifer must have lit quite a fire. He's offering a one-time payment of $50,000 in exchange for complete termination of parental rights and a non-disclosure agreement. NDA? He doesn't want this affecting his career. Singapore promotion is worth $500,000 annually. A pregnant subordinate could derail that. $50,000 to abandon his child? $75 if you sign today. The prenup had a clause she'd forgotten about, but Brandon had forgotten something too, that actions have consequences beyond financial settlements. No NDA, I said. He can keep his money. David, that's $75,000. I don't want his money. I want the truth on record. Court documents are public. Let his next employer Google him and find out what kind of man they're hiring. Sarah Chen smiled. The alienation of affection case? Full steam ahead. His lawyer won't like that. Good. Saturday morning arrived gray and drizzling. Perfect moving day weather. I'd hired professionals. No point in dragging friends into this mess. The truck arrived at 8 a.m., just as Sarah was leaving. She'd dressed carefully, makeup perfect despite the puffy eyes, hair styled, the kind of armor women wear when facing defeat. I'll be at my mother's, she said. Okay. David, can we talk? One last time? We've talked enough. Please. I nodded toward the kitchen. 5 minutes. The coffee maker was brewing. Our coffee maker, which would be staying. The kitchen where we'd cooked 1,000 meals. Where we'd slow dance to Sam Cooke while pasta boiled over. Where she'd told me about the pregnancy 6 days ago. Where Brandon was now standing. He was serving Brandon coffee in our kitchen. He'd let himself in through the back door. Sarah must have given him a key. Tall, athletic. That expensive haircut slightly mussed from the rain. He was drinking from my favorite mug, the one Sarah had given me for our 5th anniversary. World's best husband in fading letters. David, he said, like we were colleagues meeting at the water cooler. Get out. I think we should talk, man to man. You're not a man. You're a coward who knocked up another man's wife and tried to buy your way out of responsibility. That's unfair. Sarah and you nothing. Get out of my house. Sarah stood between us, hands raised. Please, both of you, we're adults. We can discuss this civilly. Civilly? I laughed. Your boyfriend is drinking coffee from my mug in my kitchen while pregnant with his child. And you want civility? Ex-boyfriend, Brandon corrected. Jennifer and I are working things out. Counseling, a fresh start in Singapore. How nice for you. I'm here to make sure you understand the offer. $75,000, clean break, everyone moves on. No. Be reasonable. Sarah needs support. The baby needs your baby, your responsibility, your consequences. I'm offering you money to make this go away. And I'm refusing it. You don't get to pay your way out of this. You destroyed my marriage. You got my wife pregnant. You sent her home to me 47 nights with your smell on her skin. You don't get to write a check and call it even. The movers knocked. Sir, we're ready for the bedroom furniture. Take everything marked with blue tape, I instructed. Brandon set down the mug, my mug, with deliberate calm. You're being emotional. I'm being rational. Alienation of affection. Look it up. Your lawyer already has. His face changed. You vindictive. Accurate. The word you're looking for is accurate. I accurately identified you as the kind of man who sleeps with married women, who abandons children, who thinks money solves everything. Sarah, talk to him, Brandon pleaded. She touched his arm. Intimate, familiar. Maybe you should go. But go, Brandon, please. He left through the back door, shoulders hunched against the rain. No goodbye, no apology, just retreat. Sarah and I stood in the kitchen listening to the movers work. I never meant for this to happen, she said finally. Yes, you did. Every hotel room was a choice. Every lie was a decision. Every night with him was you meaning for this to happen. I meant I never wanted to hurt you. Then you should have asked for a divorce 6 months ago, clean, honest. Instead, you tried to make me raise another man's child. Would that have been so terrible? You want children. I'm having a child. We could have lived a lie, pretended Brandon doesn't exist, celebrated birthdays knowing the truth. No. My parents will be devastated. Yes, they should be. Their daughter destroyed an 8-year marriage for her boss. That's cruel. That's honest. The movers carried our bed frame past the kitchen doorway, the bed where we'd conceived hope 3 times, where we'd lost it 3 times, where she'd probably texted Brandon while I slept beside her. "What about the embryos?" she asked suddenly. We still had 2 frozen embryos from our last IVF cycle, stored at the clinic, waiting for a chance that would never come. "My lawyer will handle that." "They're mine too. You're pregnant with another man's child. I think your maternal needs are met." She started crying again. "I loved you. Part of me still does." "No, you love the idea of me, the stability, the house, the willingness to do IVF, the backup plan when Brandon chose his wife. But me, the actual person, you couldn't have loved me and done this." "That's not true." "Sarah, stop. Please, just stop." The rain intensified, drumming against the windows. The movers worked efficiently, professionally, pretending not to notice the domestic tragedy playing out in real time. Comment dignity or stability if you've ever had to choose between accepting betrayal for family stability or protecting your dignity through divorce. "I should tell you," she said quietly, "I'm keeping the house. The house is in my name. I'm pregnant. No judge will evict a pregnant woman. My lawyer says I can stay until the baby is born, maybe longer." "Your lawyer is wrong. The prenup doesn't matter if I can't find alternative housing. Brandon won't help. My parents can't afford it. I'm staying." The manipulation was breathtaking. Even now, even caught, she was still playing angles. "Fine, stay, but the house goes on the market Monday." "You can't." "I can. I will. Enjoy explaining to potential buyers why you're living in a house you don't own, pregnant with a child whose father abandoned you." "God, when did you become so cold?" "Thursday, around the time I read Jennifer's evidence folder. My phone rang. Sarah Chen. "David, you need to come to the office. Now." "What's wrong?" "Brandon Hayes just filed an emergency motion. He's claiming paternal rights." "What? He just offered to sign them away." "That was before you refused the NDA. Now he's playing hardball. Can you get here?" I looked at Sarah, whose face had gone pale. "Brandon filed for paternal rights," I told her. What? No. He said he didn't want... Apparently he wants leverage more." The drive to Sarah Chen's office was surreal. My life was being packed into a truck, while lawyers battled over a child that wasn't mine, in a marriage that was ending, with people I'd never see again after the ink dried. The meeting was brief but illuminating. "He's not actually interested in custody," Sarah Chen explained. "This is about the alienation of affection suit. He's trying to force a global settlement. Drop your suits, he drops his custody claim." "Can he do that?" "He can try, but here's where it gets interesting. Jennifer Hayes filed her own alienation suit, and she included Sarah as a defendant. She can sue Sarah? For destroying her marriage. Absolutely. And unlike Brandon, Sarah has no money for a settlement. The chess pieces were moving, everyone lawyering up, everyone protecting assets, everyone except the baby, who had no vote in any of this. "What do you recommend?" I asked. "Let them all fight each other. You're getting divorced. The DNA test proves the child isn't yours. Walk away clean. And Sarah, not your problem anymore. But she had been my problem, my choice, my wife, my life, for 8 years. Despite everything, I couldn't quite celebrate her destruction. Set up a meeting," I said. "All parties, all lawyers. Let's end this." Monday, conference room at Chen, Martinez, and Associates. The gathering looked like a corporate board meeting. Brandon and his lawyer, Jennifer and hers, Sarah and the public defender she'd managed to find, me and Sarah Chen. "Here's what's going to happen," I said, standing. "Brandon, you're dropping the custody claim. You're signing away rights. No payment required." "Why would I?" "Because if you don't, I'm not just suing for alienation. I'm going to your company's board with the evidence. The affairs, the pregnancy, the attempt to abandon your child. How do you think that plays in Singapore? His lawyer whispered urgently in his ear. Sarah, I continued, you're keeping the baby. Brandon pays child support. Standard calculation based on his salary. No negotiation. I can't afford a baby alone. Then you should have thought about that before. Jennifer, I turned to Brandon's wife, I'm dropping my alienation suit against Brandon if you drop yours against Sarah. Why would you do that? Jennifer asked. Because she's pregnant and broke. Because destroying her doesn't fix anything. Because we both know the real villain here is sitting next to you. Brandon started to protest, but Jennifer cut him off. Done. I'm keeping the house until it sells, I said. Sarah has 30 days to relocate. Brandon, I assume you'll help with that since it's your child she's carrying. This is extortion, Brandon muttered. This is consequence, I corrected. The papers were drawn up within 2 hours, signed, notarized, filed. Brandon would pay child support. Sarah would find an apartment. The house would sell. The divorce would be final in 90 days. Clean, surgical, over. As everyone filed out, Sarah stopped me. David? Yeah? The embryos, what do you want to do? Donate them to a couple who actually wants children together. She nodded, tears starting again. I really did love you. I know, just not enough. Tuesday through Thursday blurred together. Work, gym, Mike's couch, therapy appointment, the mundane mechanics of rebuilding. Then Thursday evening, an unexpected call. Mr. Thompson, this is Grace Hamilton from Child Protective Services. CPS? What's this about? You're listed as an emergency contact for Marcus and Lily Chen, my stepchildren from a previous relationship. A detail I'd never mentioned to Sarah, my ex-girlfriend Diana's kids, who still called me Dad, even though Diana and I had split 3 years before I met Sarah. Are they okay? Their mother is in the hospital, car accident. She's asking for you. The hospital smelled like all hospitals, disinfectant and despair. Diana was awake, bandaged but alert. David, thank God. What happened? Drunk driver. I'm okay, but I'll be here for weeks. David, I need to ask you something impossible. The kids? Their father won't take them. My parents are gone. I have no one else. Marcus was 7 now, Lily 5. I'd been in their lives since they were babies, left only because Diana had cheated, history repeating in reverse. Of course I'll take them. Really? They're family. That evening, I picked them up from the CPS office. Marcus ran to me, all knees and elbows and desperate hug. Dad, Mom said you were coming. Dad, not David, not ex-boyfriend. Dad. Lily was shyer, clutching a drawing she'd made. 3 figures, a tall man, a boy, a girl. My stepson's drawing showed 3 people, him, his sister, and me. Is this us? I asked. Family, she said simply. Type family. If you believe love makes family, not just blood. Friday morning, final divorce hearing. Sarah was showing now, a small bump visible under her conservative court dress. Brandon was nowhere to be seen, already in Singapore, his lawyer said. Mr. Thompson, the judge began, I've reviewed the settlement. Assets divided per the prenuptial agreement. No custody issues as the child is not yours. Any objections? None, Your Honor. Mrs. Thompson? Sarah stood slowly. Your Honor, I'd like to request continued residence in the marital home. On what grounds? I'm pregnant. I have nowhere else to go. Mr. Hayes is the father, correct? Yes. Then Mr. Hayes should provide accommodation. Mr. Thompson has no obligation to house you. Petition denied. But, Mrs. Thompson, you committed adultery. You became pregnant by another man. You attempted to defraud your husband into raising that child. The court has no sympathy for your housing situation. You have 14 days to vacate, Sarah's lawyer whispered urgently. Additionally, the judge continued, I'm granting Mr. Thompson's request for immediate restoration of his premarital name on all accounts. The divorce is final. Court dismissed. Brandon wasn't there. He'd been transferred to another state. Outside the courthouse, Sarah waited by my car. "Please," she said. 2 months, just until I find something. No. The baby? Brandon's baby? Brandon's problem? Singapore has housing. He's not taking us to Singapore. Us? Me and the baby. Then he should have thought about that before. I stopped. We'd had this conversation. "Goodbye, Sarah. You're really going to let a pregnant woman be homeless?" "I'm letting a pregnant woman experience consequences. There's a difference. The David I married would never. The David you married wouldn't have cheated. We're both different people now." As I drove away, I saw her in the rearview mirror, standing on the courthouse steps, hand on her stomach, cell phone to her ear, probably calling Brandon, or her parents, or anyone who'd listened to her version where she was the victim. Saturday, new apartment, the kids were adjusting. Marcus had claimed the smaller bedroom without complaint, giving Lily the one with better light for her drawings. "Dad," Marcus said over breakfast, "are you married?" "Not anymore." "Did she leave?" "Something like that." "Mom says people leave when they don't love you enough." "Sometimes people leave because they love themselves enough." He considered this with 7-year-old gravity. "Is that why you left Mom?" "I left because she broke promises, but I never left you." "Promise? Promise." That afternoon, while the kids played in the park, I met Emma. She was pushing a swing, her daughter about Lily's age. "Yours?" she asked, nodding at Marcus and Lily. "In every way that matters. I know that story. My son's father decided Thailand was more important than T-ball. We talked while the kids played. She was a nurse, divorced 2 years. Had that tired but not defeated look, single parents perfect. Coffee sometime? She asked. When we're not on playground duty? I'd like that. Sunday, Sarah's mother called. David, please. She has nowhere to go. She has Brandon. He won't help? Then she has you. We don't have room. Make room. Your daughter is having a baby. David, be reasonable. I was reasonable for 8 years. I'm done. You're heartless. No, I'm just not accepting responsibility for Brandon's choices. Or Sarah's. She loved you. She loves stability. There's a difference. I hung up. Blocked the number, moved forward. Monday. The kids' first day at their new school. I'd taken the morning off. What if they don't like me? Lily asked. Impossible. You're too likable. Mom says that too. Mom's smart. Are you and Mom gonna get married again? No, sweetheart. Oh, she considered this. Can you marry someone else? Maybe, someday. I hope she likes pancakes. Me too. Tuesday evening. Coffee with Emma while Diana's sister watched the kids. So, Emma said, your ex-wife tried to pass off another man's baby as yours? That's the summary. And you're raising your other ex's kids? Also accurate. You're either the best man in the world or the worst judge of character. Can I be both? She laughed, real, unforced. My ex sent me divorce papers from a yoga retreat in Bali. Said he needed to find himself. Did he? Found a 22-year-old instructor named Rainbow. Rainbow? Her parents were hippies or liars. We talked until the coffee shop closed. About kids, about exes, about starting over when starting over seemed impossible. I should warn you, I said. I come with baggage. 2 kids who aren't biologically mine. An ex-wife pregnant with her boss's baby. A prenup that saved me financially, but not emotionally. I should warn you, she replied. I don't care about any of that. Wednesday. Got word that Sarah had moved back with her parents. The house sold in 3 days. Cash offer. Quick close. The market was hot for 4-bedroom colonials with good schools. Brandon had sent 1 check for child support. The memo line said, final payment. That's not how child support works, Sarah Chen told me over the phone. He owes monthly until the child is 18. Let Sarah's lawyer handle it. You're really walking away from all of this? I have 2 kids who need stability, a job, A fresh start? Sarah's financial problems with Brandon aren't mine anymore. You're a good man, David Thompson. No, I'm just a man who knows the difference between his problems and someone else's. Thursday. Diana was released from the hospital. She came to see the kids at my apartment. David, she said while they played in their rooms, I can't thank you enough. They're great kids. Because you helped raise them, even after we ended. Even after you cheated. She winced. I deserved that. Yeah, you did. Sarah cheated too? Got pregnant by her boss. Jesus, I'm sorry. Don't be. If she hadn't, I wouldn't have been free to take Marcus and Lily. Everything happens for a reason? No, everything just happens. We choose the reasons after. Friday. 2 weeks since the DNA results. The final payment from the house sale hit my account. Freedom in 6 figures. Emma came for dinner. The kids had requested spaghetti. You're a good cook, she told me. Dad makes the best garlic bread, Lily announced. Dad? Emma raised an eyebrow. Long story. I've got time. After dinner, while the kids did homework, we sat on the balcony. This is nice, she said. Which part? All of it. The kids, the dinner, you not pretending your life is perfect. My life is chaos. Good chaos, though. Is there such a thing? Emma understood everything. She kissed me goodnight at the door. Soft, promising, real. Saturday morning. Pancakes per Lily's hope. Emma joined us, bringing real maple syrup. Canadian, she said. The good stuff. Everything's better with the good stuff, Marcus observed, then blushed. Smart kid, Emma said. Gets it from his dad, I replied without thinking. Marcus beamed. After breakfast, we went to the park, the same one where we'd met. The kids played while Emma and I watched. So what's the plan? She asked. Raise kids, work, try to remember what normal looks like. Sounds ambitious. What about you? Same, minus the normal part. Never been good at normal. Normal's overrated. Says the man raising his ex's kids while his other ex has a baby with her boss. When you put it like that, it sounds insane. It sounds like life. My phone buzzed. Sarah. I declined the call. You can answer, Emma said. No, I really can't. Boundaries. I like it. Learn the hard way. Best way to learn. That evening, putting the kids to bed, Lily asked, Is Emma your girlfriend? She's my friend. But you like her. I do. More than Sarah? Different than Sarah. Good different? Very good different, Marcus added. She makes you smile real smiles. Real smiles. Not the fake ones you did when we visited you and Sarah. Kids see everything. You're right. Real smiles. Keep her, Lily advised seriously. I'll try. Sunday. 3 weeks since discovery. Diana came for lunch, moving slowly but steadily. I've been thinking, she said, when I'm healed, maybe we could set up a regular schedule. Kids with you some weeks, me others. Shared custody. You're their dad in every way that matters. Makes sense to formalize it. Diana, I know I hurt you, destroyed us, but you never stopped being their father. That means everything. I'll think about it. Also, she hesitated, I met someone. Good for you. Really? Diana, I want you happy. Happy you is better for the kids. You've changed. Trauma does that. Or growth. Same thing, different marketing. That evening, Emma brought pizza and a board game. Family game night, she suggested. Family. The word sat comfortable now. Earned, chosen, real. I should warn you, Marcus said seriously. Lily cheats at Monopoly. I do not. You steal from the bank. That's strategy, Emma laughed. I like her style. We played until past bedtime. Emma helped tuck the kids in, natural as breathing. She's nice, Lily whispered. Yeah. Prettier than Sarah, too. That's not important. But it's true. Kids. On the balcony, Emma and I watched the city lights. Thank you, I said. For what? Not running when you learn my situation. Your situation is 2 great kids and freedom from a toxic marriage. That's not scary. That's attractive. Most people wouldn't see it that way. I'm not most people. No, you're not. Besides, she said, my situation is a 3-year-old who thinks she's a dinosaur and an ex who sends child support and cryptocurrency. We all have situations. Cryptocurrency? He's very committed to decentralized finance. That's ridiculous, yes, but it spends like regular money once I convert it. We sat in comfortable silence. Can I tell you something? She said. Anything. When my ex left, I thought I'd never trust anyone again. Then I met you at that park, handling chaos with grace, choosing to raise kids who aren't yours. And I thought, there's someone who understands that love is a choice, not just a feeling. It is? Feelings fade. Ask your ex, or mine. But choosing to show up? That's love. Real love doesn't demand you swallow betrayal. It never serves it to you. Monday, a month since everything started, Sarah texted a photo of an ultrasound. Bigger now, more baby-shaped. It's a boy. Just thought you should know. I deleted it. Not my child, not my problem, not my life. Tuesday, the kids had parent-teacher conferences. I sat in tiny chairs while teachers praised Marcus's math skills and Lily's art. You must be so proud, Marcus's teacher said. Every day. He talks about you constantly. You and someone named Emma? She's new. Well, whatever you're doing, keep it up. He's thriving. Thriving? Despite divorce, despite disruption, despite everything. Wednesday, coffee with Mike. You look good, he said. I feel good. Even with everything? Especially with everything. Sarah's betrayal freed me to build something real. With Emma, with everyone. The kids, Diana, Emma, even myself. Very zen. Very tired, but good tired. Like after a workout, not after a fight. Sarah's been calling me. Don't care. She wants don't care. David, Mike, I love you, but if you tell me anything about Sarah, I'm leaving. Fair enough. Different topic. Emma seems great. She is. The kids love her. They do. And you? Working on it. Working on love? Working on believing I deserve it. Thursday. Emma's daughter Zoe came for a playdate, 3-year-old energy in dinosaur pajamas. Roar! She announced to Marcus. Oh no, a T-Rex. He played along. Actually, Zoe corrected seriously, I'm a brachiosaurus. We're herbivores. My mistake. The kids played while Emma and I cooked. This is nice, she said, chopping vegetables. Chaos and all. Chaos especially. Silence is overrated. Said like a true parent. Said like someone who knows family isn't about perfection. The kids made a fort in the living room, all 3 of them laughing. No steps or halves or complications, just kids being family. Can we do this every week? Lily asked. Emma and I exchanged glances. We'll see, I said. That means yes, Marcus translated. That means we'll see. But yeah, it meant yes. Friday, the alienation of affection verdict came in. Brandon owed me nothing. Jennifer had gotten him to settle her suit for half their assets. But the public nature of the filing had done its work. Singapore promotion rescinded. Career stalled. Consequences cascading. Sarah Chen called with the news. He's staying local. Demoted to regional manager. And Sarah? Still with her parents. Still pregnant. Still broke. Still not my problem. You're really over it? I was over it the moment she said Brandon's name while planning our son's name. That's cold. That survived. That evening, Diana joined us for dinner, her first time meeting Emma. So you're the woman making David smile again, Diana said. Trying to. Good. He deserves it. Even after I hurt him, he never stopped being good. Water under the bridge, I said. No, Diana corrected. Lessons learned. I hurt you, you survived, and now you're helping me with my kids despite that hurt. That's not water under the bridge. That's character over comfort. After dinner, Diana pulled me aside. She's good for you. Yeah. The kids love her. Yeah. You love her. Getting there. David, let yourself be happy. Sarah's betrayal doesn't mean Emma will betray you. I know. Do you? Or are you waiting for the other shoe? Maybe both. Fair. But don't wait too long. Good things don't always wait back. Saturday. 2 months since the ultrasound. Spring had fully arrived, the world green and possible. We took the kids to the beach, all 5 of us. Me, Emma, Marcus, Lily, and Zoe. Emma had brought a camera. Family photo? She suggested. We're not, I started. We're something, she interrupted. Let's document it. We built sandcastles, taught Zoe to find shells, watched Marcus try to surf on a boogie board. Normal, beautiful, ours. Dad, Lily said, tugging my hand, I made you something. A drawing in the sand, 5 stick figures holding hands. That's all of us, she explained, our family. When did we become a family? I asked. When you chose us, she said simply. Kids know everything. That evening, after baths and stories and dinosaur negotiations, Emma and I sat on the porch while the kids slept. I love you, she said suddenly. Emma, I know it's fast. I know you're still healing, but I love you, and them, and this chaos we're building. You don't have to say it back. Just know it's there, real, not going anywhere. I kissed her instead of speaking. Sometimes words aren't enough. Sometimes they're too much. Stay, I said. Tonight? Yes, but also stay. Okay. Simple, clean, real. Sunday. Sarah called 18 times. Finally left a voicemail. David, Brandon left, moved to Singapore alone. His lawyer says the child support was a one-time settlement. I need help. Please. The baby is due in 4 months. I have nothing. Nobody. Please. I played it for Emma. What are you going to do? She asked. Nothing. Nothing? She made choices. Brandon made choices. Those choices have consequences. That's harsh. That's boundaries. What about the baby? Brandon's baby. Brandon's abandonment. Brandon's consequences, not mine. Could you really let a child suffer? I'm not letting anything. I'm just not accepting responsibility for Brandon's choices, or Sarah's. But, Emma, I'm raising 2 kids who aren't mine. I'm building something with you and Zoe. I can't save everyone. I won't destroy what we're building for someone who destroyed what we built. She nodded slowly. You're right. It doesn't feel good. Right rarely does. Monday, work, normal day, normal problems, blissfully mundane. That evening, making dinner, Lily asked, Are babies hard? Why? Zoe said Emma might have another baby. Did she? Is that okay? I thought about Sarah, pregnant with betrayal, about the embryos we'd created in hope, about the family growing around me, chaotic and chosen. Yeah, that would be okay. Good. I want a sister. You have Zoe. She's 3. That doesn't count. It all counts. Dad? Yeah, I'm glad Sarah left. Lily, she made you sad. Emma makes you happy. We make you happy. You do. Then we're your real family. Real family. Real love. Real life. Not perfect. Not biological. Not traditional, but real. The new family photo on the refrigerator. Him, Emma, and both stepchildren at the beach, building sandcastles. No ultrasound photos in sight. Just real smiles and chosen love. Tuesday morning, final entry. The divorce was final. The house sold. Sarah with her parents. Brandon in Singapore. The baby growing without me. And me. I was making pancakes for 3 kids who weren't biologically mine, next to a woman who understood that love was choice plus time, in an apartment that smelled like coffee and possibility. Marcus reading at the table, Lily drawing dinosaurs for Zoe, Emma laughing at something on her phone, her hand casual on my back. "What's funny?" I asked. "My ex. He wants to know if cryptocurrency counts as regular child support. Does it? According to my lawyer, money is money. Modern problems, modern solutions." She kissed my shoulder, easy affection that asked nothing, promised everything. "Dad," Marcus said, "can we go to the park after school?" "Sure. All of us, all of us." This was family, not the one I'd planned, not the one I'd lost, the one I'd chosen, the one that chose me back. Real love doesn't demand you swallow betrayal. Real love never serves betrayal in the first place. We don't leave, we just choose better who deserves our staying. And I chose this. Every messy, complicated, beautiful piece of it. The pancakes were burning. Zoe was roaring. Lily was negotiating for extra syrup. Marcus was stealing bacon. Emma was laughing. Perfect chaos. Perfect choice. Perfect ending to an imperfect story. Share your own story of finding real family in unexpected places. How did chosen family save you? Because in the end, that's what saves us all. The people who choose us when biology fails, when promises break, when the life we planned dissolves into the life we're living. The people who stay. The people who choose. The people who make us family.